Have you ever faced a moment when everything seemed to go wrong? When it felt like no matter how hard you tried, things just wouldn't get better? Maybe you're going through that right now. It could be financial difficulties, health problems, a relationship that isn't going well, or even that overwhelming feeling that your life is stuck. Whatever your challenge may be, there's something important you need to know. You are not alone, and your situation is not permanent. The truth is, we all go through tough times, but there's something that sets apart those who overcome challenges from those who are overwhelmed by them. And this difference doesn't lie in external circumstances, but in the way each person faces these difficulties. Have you noticed that some people endure enormous problems and still manage to hold on to hope and keep moving forward, while others crumble at the slightest obstacle? What makes one person capable of overcoming challenges with strength and determination, while another feels paralyzed by fear and doubt? The answer lies in positive thinking and faith. These two elements, when developed together, have the power to transform your life. The way you think determines how you feel, and how you feel directly influences your actions. If your mind is filled with negative thoughts, I won't make it, I'm a failure, things never work out for me, your body and emotions will respond accordingly, leading to discouragement, procrastination, and fear. On the other hand, if you start feeding your mind with positive and faith-filled thoughts, this is just a temporary obstacle. God has a plan for me. I am stronger than this problem. Your energy will shift, and you'll begin to find strength where you once thought none existed. The impact of mindset on overcoming challenges. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale was one of the greatest advocates of positive thinking as a tool for overcoming difficulties. He stated that our success or failure is not determined by circumstances, but by our attitude toward them. A powerful example of this is the story of Helen Keller. Have you heard of her? Helen became deaf and blind as a child, and many believed she would never be able to communicate, study, or live a normal life. But she refused to accept those limitations. With the help of her teacher, Anne Sullivan, and with a determined and positive mindset, Helen learned to read, write, and speak. She became a world-renowned writer, activist, and speaker. If Helen Keller, without sight and hearing, was able to overcome her challenges and achieve her dreams, what's stopping you from doing the same? Faith. The key to staying strong in the storm. Positive thinking is a powerful tool, but by itself, it's not enough. We need something deeper, something that sustains us when everything seems to be falling apart. And that foundation is faith. Having faith doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist. Having faith means believing that, even in the middle of the storm, God is in control. The Bible is full of stories of people who faced impossible challenges, but overcame them through faith. One of the most well-known examples is King David. When he was still a young shepherd, David faced Goliath, a giant feared by everyone. From a human perspective, he had no chance of victory. But he didn't let fear or circumstances control him. His confidence was in God. David said, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." 1 Samuel 17:45. And with unshakable faith, he defeated the giant with a single stone. Now take a moment and think, what is your giant today? Maybe it's financial hardship, illness, paralyzing fear, or a dream that seems out of reach. Whatever your challenge may be, remember that you are not alone in this battle. God is by your side, and He has already given you everything you need to overcome it. The first step toward change. Now that we understand the power of positive thinking and faith, an important question arises. How can we start applying this in our daily lives? Here are 3 questions for you to reflect on right now. What negative thoughts have you been feeding lately? Take a moment for self-analysis and notice if your mind leans more toward doubt and pessimism rather than hope and faith. Have you been trusting God in difficult moments, or are you trying to carry everything on your own? Many times we suffer more than we need to because we insist on handling everything without asking for His help. What can you start changing today? Small mindset shifts can lead to big transformations over time. Throughout this video, we will dive deeper into each of these points, learning how to reprogram our minds for positive thinking, strengthen our faith, and apply practical strategies to overcome any challenge. Are you ready to take this step toward a life strengthened by faith and optimism? Then let's embark on this journey of transformation together. Have you ever noticed how the way we think directly influences our actions and, consequently, the results we achieve? Positive thinking is not just a nice motivational concept. It has both scientific and spiritual foundations. When you choose to focus on the good, your mind becomes more open to solutions and opportunities. Many times we are conditioned from childhood to see life through a pessimistic lens. Phrases like, "Life is hard," "Nothing ever works out for me," or "I'm just not lucky," become unconscious beliefs that limit our potential. But here's the truth. You have the power to change this mindset. Vincent Peale dedicated his life to teaching the power of positive thinking. He said, "If you believe you can do something, you can. But if you believe you can't, then you're already defeated before you even try." This is a profound lesson. Think about your life. How many times have you given up before even trying, simply because you thought you weren't capable? How many opportunities have you let slip away because you thought, "That's not for me"? Now imagine if you change that mindset. What if instead of saying, "I can't do this," you started saying, "I can't do this yet, but I'm learning"? What if when facing a problem you said, "This is a challenge, but I have the strength within me to overcome it"? The truth is that the external world responds to what we believe internally. If we believe we are capable, we begin to act with more confidence, and by acting with more confidence, we naturally achieve better results. Modern psychology confirms what Vincent Peale always taught. The human brain has something called the reticular activating system, RAS. This small part of the brain acts as a filter that directs our attention to what we consider important. For example, have you ever decided to buy a specific car model and suddenly started seeing that car everywhere? This happens because your brain has been programmed to notice that information. Now imagine if you programmed your mind to see opportunities instead of difficulties, solutions instead of problems, possibilities instead of limitations. Your life would begin to change drastically. Thomas Edison is one of the greatest examples of positive thinking in action. He tried to create the electric light bulb more than 10,000 times before finally succeeding. Someone with a negative mindset would have given up after a few attempts. But Edison saw each failure as a step closer to success. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That perspective made all the difference. Instead of seeing his attempts as failures, he saw them as learning experiences. And that's exactly how we should face our challenges. Now think, what if Edison had given up on attempt number 100, or at number 5,000? Maybe we would never have had the electric light bulb. And you? How do you face your difficulties? Do you see them as the end of the road, or as a stepping stone to something greater? Now that you understand the power of positive thinking, how can you apply it in your daily life? Here are 3 fundamental steps. Practice mental reprogramming. Whenever a negative thought arises, immediately replace it with a positive one. For example, "I'll never get a better job." "I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm improving and opportunities will come." Surround yourself with positive messages, read inspiring books, listen to motivational talks, memorize Bible verses that strengthen your faith. Your environment directly influences your mindset. Practice daily gratitude before going to bed. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. This trains your mind to focus on the good in your life instead of just the problems. If positive thinking gives us strength to move forward, faith gives us direction and purpose. Life constantly challenges us, and we often face situations that seem beyond our control. In these moments, where do we find the strength to keep going? The answer lies in faith. Faith does not mean the absence of difficulties. On the contrary, having faith means believing that even in the hardest moments, God is by our side. Jesus said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." In other words, challenges are part of the journey, but we don't have to face them alone. When we place our trust in God, we find peace, courage, and strength to move forward, even when everything seems lost. But here's the big question. How do we keep faith when everything seems to be falling apart? This leads us to a crucial point. Faith is not a feeling, it is a decision. It's not about waiting until everything is fine to believe. It's about choosing to believe even when the winds are against us. If anyone had a reason to give up, it was Nick Vujicic. He was born without arms and legs, faced bullying in school, and went through deep depression. Yet, Instead of giving into pain and despair, Nick chose to trust God. He shares that when he was younger, he asked himself, "Why did God allow me to be born this way?" But over time, he realized that his purpose went far beyond his physical limitations. Today, Nick is one of the world's most influential motivational speakers, a husband, a father, and an inspiration to millions of people, encouraging them to never give up. He says, "If God can use a man without arms and legs to be his hands and feet, then he can use anyone." This story teaches us a great lesson. We are never without a way out when we have faith. We may not see an immediate solution, but God has already prepared a path for us. Just like a muscle, faith needs to be exercised to grow stronger. Here are 3 ways to strengthen your faith during difficult times. Maintain a daily relationship with God. Faith grows when we invest time with God. Read the Bible, pray, and talk to Him. It doesn't have to be complicated. A simple prayer like this is enough. "Lord, I don't understand this situation, but I trust that you have a purpose for me." Prayer brings us peace and strengthens our hope. Remember the times when God has already helped you. How many times have you faced difficulties and, in the end, realized that God was with you the entire time? When we remember past blessings, we strengthen our faith for the challenges ahead. Try keeping a gratitude journal, where you write down moments when God has worked in your life. When adversity comes, read through your notes to remind yourself that He has never failed you. Surround yourself with people who strengthen your faith. The people around you directly influence the way you think and feel. That's why it's important to spend time with those who share your faith and can encourage you in difficult moments. If you surround yourself with negative people who constantly complain and live without hope, your faith will weaken. But if you stay close to people who trust in God, your faith will grow naturally. Now that we understand the power of positive thinking and the essential role of faith, a practical question arises. How do we apply this in our daily lives? Many times we know we should think positively and trust in God, but in practice it's difficult to maintain this mindset when faced with challenges. The good news is that there are simple strategies that can help us cultivate a mindset strengthened by faith and optimism. Below, I present 5 powerful strategies to help you maintain positivity and faith, no matter what challenges come your way. 1. Feed your mind with positive messages. Our mind is like a garden. If we plant good seeds, we will harvest good fruits. But if we allow weeds to grow, they will choke out the positive things. That's why it's essential to nourish our minds with content that strengthens faith and positivity. Here are some ways to do this. Read the Bible every day, even if it's just one verse. Meditate on it and apply it to your life. A great place to start is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Listen to inspiring music and podcasts. Music has a huge impact on our emotional state. Choose songs that uplift your faith and bring peace to your heart. Avoid excessive exposure to negative news and content. It's important to stay informed, but don't overload yourself with bad news all the time. If necessary, limit the time you spend watching TV or scrolling through social media. Surround yourself with uplifting people. The Bible says in Proverbs 13:20, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." This means that the people we surround ourselves with influence the way we think and act. If you are constantly around negative people who complain and see the worst in everything, you will naturally absorb that mindset. But if you choose to be around people of faith, who speak words of hope and encouragement, your mind will be strengthened in a positive way. What can you do? Join prayer groups, church services, and motivational gatherings. Seek mentors and friends who share your values of faith and positivity. Avoid destructive conversations and environments that drain your emotional energy. Negativity is contagious, but so is positivity. Choose wisely who you share your life with. Turn challenges into learning opportunities. We all face difficulties, but while some people allow problems to defeat them, others use challenges to grow. The difference lies in how they view obstacles. When you go through a tough moment, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this situation make me stronger? What is God trying to teach me through this experience? Many times, adversities are disguised opportunities. They teach us patience, resilience, and bring us closer to God. Practice daily gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful habits for transforming your mindset. When we focus on what we already have instead of just complaining about what we lack, our entire outlook on life changes. Try keeping a gratitude journal. Every night before bed, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They can be simple things like, I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for the food I had today. I'm grateful for my family and friends who support me. Over time, you will realize that there are far more reasons to be grateful than to complain. Trust in God's timing. Finally, one of Dios, the most important lessons. Learn to trust that God has a greater plan for your life. Many times we want things to happen on our timeline and in our way, but God sees beyond what we can see. He knows what is best for us and has a purpose for every situation. Isaiah 55:8-9 reminds us of this. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways and my thoughts than your thoughts. If you're going through a difficult moment, remember, God is working behind the scenes, even when you don't see it. Trust in His timing, keep your faith strong, and continue moving forward. Throughout this study, we have seen how faith and positive thinking are powerful tools for overcoming challenges. The path of life is not always easy, and we all face moments of pain, doubt, and difficulty. But the great truth is that we are not alone. Your thoughts shape your reality. When you change your mindset, your life begins to change as well. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring problems, but facing them with courage and hope. Faith sustains you in difficult moments. When everything seems to be falling apart, remember that God has a greater plan for you. He never abandons those who trust in Him. Action is essential. It's not enough to just believe and think positively. You need to take action. Practice the strategies we discussed. Nourish your mind with uplifting messages. Surround yourself with people who motivate you. Turn challenges into learning experiences, and trust in God's timing. Vincent Peale once said, "Problems are not stop signs, they are guidelines." This means that, many times, difficulties are disguised opportunities. What you see as an obstacle today might be the very thing that will take you to a higher level tomorrow. If there is one thing you should take away from this study, it is the certainty that within you lies a strength greater than any challenge. God created you to overcome, to rise above, and to live a fulfilling life. So my question for you today is, what challenge are you facing right now? How can you apply positive thinking and faith to overcome it? Leave a comment and share this message with someone who needs encouragement. Let's spread faith, hope, and positivity together. And always remember, you are stronger than you think, and God is with you every step of the way.